Hey, good morning. We're out here. It's cold. It's a cold morning. It's really a beautiful morning. I'm gonna be real honest. I've been feeling, I don't know, just disconnected from God lately. Even as I go through this book, just in the last couple days, I feel very, I don't know, almost like I don't know what to do. And then as I prepared for this morning a little bit, I realized that's okay. That's okay, because it could be worse when you don't know what to do with Jesus. So we're just going to pick it up where we left off in Matthew 27, starting verse 11. Now Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, "Are you the king of the Jews?" So Jesus said to him, "It is as you say." And while he was being accused by the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. Then Pilate said to him, "Do you not hear how many things they testify against you?" And he answered him not one word, so that the governor marveled greatly. Now at the feast, the governor was accustomed to releasing to the multitude one prisoner whom they wished. And they had then a notorious prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they had gathered together, Pilate said to them, "Whom do you want me to release to you, Barabbas or Jesus, who is called Christ?" For he knew that because of envy they had delivered him. While he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife said to him, "Have nothing to do with that man, for I have suffered many things today in a dream because of him." But the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude, and they should ask for Barabbas to destroy Jesus. The governor answered and said to them, "Which of these two do you want me to release to you?" And they said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "What then shall I do with Jesus, who is called Christ?" And they all said to him, "Let him be crucified." And the governor said, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they cried out the more, saying, "Let him be crucified." And Pilate saw that he could not prevail at all, but rather that a tumult was rising. He took water and washed his hands for the multitude, saying, "I am innocent of the blood of this just person. You see to it." And all the people answered and said, "His blood be on us and on our children." And he released Barabbas to them. And when he had scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. Now with Pilate, he didn't know really what to do. He didn't know how to handle the situation. And then he thought, just by really doing nothing, he washed his hands of anything that had, any guilt in that. And it was in that I realized that that's a lot of what we do. That's a lot of what I do. This idea that sometimes we just don't know what to do, so we just do nothing. Or we don't know what to do, so we just let the people around us influence us. And then we just feel like, well, because I didn't do those things, I could just wash my hands of it. And I know I treat Jesus like that sometimes. And I really think we all do. This whole idea that he's somebody that we could, come to and be there for, come to for when we need somebody, or, claim he's our savior, and because we said something when we were younger. But we just don't really know what to do with them. And I think oftentimes that leads to just doing nothing. And I don't personally feel like I'm doing nothing. I just don't know what to do a lot of the times. And I just get confused by this world. I don't I don't know what to do. And I'm just being honest. But then I go back to, but he tells us in his word, we don't have to be confused on that. He tells us in his word what it is we're to do. We're to go out and preach the gospel. We're to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, take care of the widows and orphans, visit the prisoners and the sick. We're to perform miracles. We're to heal people. And if God willing, raise people from the dead. And I think sometimes we, at least I do, maybe I'm just preaching myself this morning. I know sometimes I'm just like, God, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I don't know what to do. Maybe it's just be still. Listen to the Spirit. And go out and preach the gospel, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, take care of the widows and orphans. I can promise you, if you're feeding the hungry, taking care of the widows and orphans, or visiting the prisoners and the sick, you will be within his will. Exactly within his will. It's not that confusing. I think we just try too hard for the world. You know, in this moment, Jesus needed to be crucified so we could be redeemed. That was his plan. It was prophesied. So, of course, it was going to play out the way it played out. But all Pilate had to do was say, no, this guy's innocent now. That would have been the end of it. A little bit of hooting and hollering, but he could have shut that down pretty quick. But when he didn't know what to do, he just did nothing. And I guess that's my fear, is just not knowing what to do, just doing nothing. I mean, I know there's times when we're to sit and be still. But you can't keep doing nothing. And it's hard to know what to do, but just go back to the basics. And remember in Matthew 25, when he says, when you do it to the least of these, you do it to me. So it's literally like feeding Jesus, taking care of widow and orphan Jesus, visiting Jesus in prison. And to the same degree, when you're accusing a man of blasphemy and wanting to have him crucified, you know, they're literally doing that to him. And to some degree, it affects the least of these, you know, they're interconnected, according to Jesus. So when you don't know what to do, just go feed hungry people. Go visit the sick and the prisoners. Take care of widows and orphans. Preach the gospel. In the end, it's basic, you know, and I know it, again, I'm preaching to myself today. I just don't know what to do half the time. I feel lost and confused. I don't know what to do. Just go back to the basics. Just pray to him, just be with him, and then get up and start walking forward into one of those things. Don't just wash your hands and be like, well, not my fault. I didn't make those people hungry. I washed my hands of this. Not my fault. I didn't make that guy sick. I didn't put him in prison. Wash my hands of this. It's not my fault that they didn't hear the gospel. Somebody else preach it. Wash my hands of this. We have to stop doing that. When you're feeling again like you don't know what to do, just read Matthew 25, Hope this video helps. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel, the Patreon, that link is below. The most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.